Level 1. The pinnacle of patheticness for a Pokemon. Very few Pokemon ever stay at this level. This is a video in which I push a Pokemon's level to the absolute minimum by raising them as a Ribbon Master in unconventional ways and environments. Because, more or less, I'm crazy. This is the Level 1 Ribbon Gauntlet. I hope you enjoy. On the final night of Pokemon Go's Sinnoh Tour, Professor Rex, myself, and our friend Venti all decided to choose 3 very special Pokemon to turn into Ribbon Masters. Rex with a level 1 shiny Azelf, Venti with an extra small shiny Uxie, and me with just a regular Mesprit. Look, I didn't find a shiny Mesprit that week, and they'd already locked in 2 really cool League Spirits, so I couldn't not do a Mesprit to complete the trio. While it isn't a shiny, it is still a level 1 legendary, something that's pretty special in its own right. The only other legendaries that can be level 1 from Pokemon Go are the Galarian birds, the roaming legendaries from the Johto and Hoenn tours, and the 6 Regi Pokemon which can be found at any level from 1 to 20 during a certain research event. As for the main series, most legendaries and mythicals are encountered between level 40 to 70, but there have also been a few ways to get ones at much lower levels than normal, such as the level 1 Dialga, Palkia and Giratina from the Sinjoh Ruins event, the level 1 Mew from the Pokeball Plus and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and Manaphy and Fione that are hatched from eggs. Pokemon transferred to Black and White 2 from the Dream Radar will also have their levels scaled to your current gym progress, making Tornadus, Thundurus, Landorus, and the Generation 4 box legendaries as low as level 5 if you don't have any badges. And as a more recent example, you can catch Ogerpon at level 20 if you go to Kitakami before completing the main game storyline. Of course, if I start to level up this Mesprit, then it will eventually become indistinguishable from any other Mesprits, so I wanted to see if I could turn this Pokemon into a Ribbon Master without earning even a single point of experience. If you haven't seen my other video about ribbon collecting, ribbons are like achievements that can be earned for your Pokemon by completing specific challenges, and a Ribbon Master is a Pokemon that has earned every single ribbon that it can get. Since our Mesprit is transferring from Pokemon Go, that means we need to collect all of the ribbons and marks from generations 8 and 9. As of recording, Legends ZA isn't compatible with Pokemon Home yet, but even if it was, Mesprit isn't part of that game's dex, and as far as we know, there aren't any earnable ribbons in Lumio City. But before we get started, I also thought it would be useful to quickly go back and cover the ribbons in previous generations, just in case you have a low-leveled Pokemon that you want to do this with. While legendaries are a striking example, there are a few other unusual encounters you might want to preserve by not leveling them up, such as the level 1 Nature Preserve Gyarados or the Route 3 SOS Chain Salamence. If you want a full in-depth explanation on how to get every ribbon, then I'd recommend checking out my main ribbon guide. But for this video, I'll just be focusing on the ribbons that you need to approach differently in order to avoid earning unwanted experience. For generations 3 and 4, this isn't actually too much of a problem. Experience is generally only awarded for taking part in battles, and you need to directly participate if you aren't holding an EXP share. So for the Mount Battle ribbon, the Legend ribbon, and the Sinnoh and Hoenn Champion ribbons, the only thing you need to do is make sure that your Ribbon Master never gets sent out into battle. As for the battle towers, these facilities don't award experience anyway, so you just need to make sure that your team can handle carrying an untrained Pokemon to claim the ribbon. Speaking of training, the Effort ribbon is one of the first ribbons you'll have to work around, as EV training on wild Pokemon is obviously out of the question. Up until Generation 8, vitamin items like iron and protein would stop working if you have 100 EVs in their respective stats, so fully training a single stat on vitamins alone wasn't possible. Thankfully, the Effort ribbon doesn't actually care about your Pokemon's stat spread being competitively viable, just that it earns the maximum amount of effort values, so we can still get this ribbon by earning a total of 510 EVs spread across all 6 stats. The Effort ribbon is also the most widely available, so there's no rush to claim this one. If your Pokemon is able to go there, it's worth waiting until Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, where vitamins and mochi are very easy to obtain and also have no limit on increasing a single stat. The Footprint ribbon is also one that might need a slightly different approach, as this one requires your Pokemon to have the maximum amount of friendship. Battling and leveling up are a few easy ways for Pokemon to gain friendship, but we can instead use walking, massages, and EV reducing berries to avoid unwanted experience. Like the Effort ribbon, the Footprint ribbon is also available in a few later games, but we'll come back to this one later. Contests also award no experience, and neither does talking to Julia for the 7 daily ribbons. You also don't get experience by spending all of your money on gorgeous royal ribbons at the syndicates, as long as your Ribbon Master isn't the one beating up old people to afford it. And if your Ribbon Master is a Shadow Pokemon, you might also want to be careful about earning experience. While Shadow Pokemon seemingly don't earn experience from battling, that's not entirely true. Any experience they would earn is instead withheld, and then received all at once when they're purified to earn the national ribbon. If you can open the heart gauge without using it in battle, such as by walking, buying scents, or using a time flute, it won't gain any experience when you finally purify it. Something that's very important if you want to use the level 50 Metagross, Salamence, or legendary birds in the level 50 battle tower. As Unova doesn't have any ribbons at all, we can move straight on to the 3DS. In Generation 6 and 7, the experience share is now a key item that affects the entire party, so you'll have to manually disable it to avoid gaining any accidental experience when collecting your champion ribbons. Aside from that, it should be fairly smooth sailing, as the Super Training, Pokemon Ami, Super Contests, the Battle Royale, the Battle Tree, and the Battle Maison also award no experience, and neither do any of the returning ribbons from previous generations. Now that we're caught up to the Switch generations, we can finally bring in my Mesprit, Pasadena, named after the city I stayed in with Rex and his friends for the Sinnoh tour. Technically this Mesprit was found in Santa Monica, but that's semantics. This generation is very perilous for our low-leveled Ribbon Master, because there are now several ways to earn experience outside of battling. For example, playing together at a picnic or making curry is going to award your party small amounts of experience, so I have to be very cautious about how I interact with Pasadena while doing this. The global experience share from Generation 6 is now also a default feature that we can't disable. On paper, this means earning experience is practically unavoidable, as we can't even earn the Galar Champion ribbon without being subjected to several levels worth of experience. Unless of course, we let Pasadena get obliterated first. It feels cruel, but unfortunately this is the only way to do it. While we cannot disable the experience share, fainted Pokemon are unable to earn experience, so we just need to make sure they get knocked out immediately before we continue with the rest of the battle. Sword and Shield also fully heals your team between rounds, so we'll have to repeat this process for the rest of the tournament. Fortunately, the Battle Tower still doesn't award experience, so we can tackle that one as normal before moving on to the Sinnoh region. After some quick poffin making, we can pick up our contest ribbons without worrying about earning any experience, as well as gradually earning the daily ribbons and the gorgeous royals. Then we just need to tactically KO Pasadena again before we take on the Sinnoh League. This time we don't get any free healing before each fight, so we don't have to worry about constantly refainting them to get our Sinnoh Champion ribbon. Now the only ribbon left in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is the Footprint ribbon. This is a bit of a tricky one, and it will technically disqualify our Mesprit from being a Ribbon Master. As I mentioned before, this ribbon was originally given to Pokemon that obtained maximum friendship, but since Generation 6 added the Best Friend ribbon, the requirements for the Footprint ribbon was updated. Now your Pokemon needs to have earned at least 30 levels of experience since you first caught it. Or, if it was transferred up into Generation 5, 30 levels since it was transferred. In the case of Pokemon encountered above level 70, such as Arceus in Sinnoh and Hisui, this ribbon is not mandatory for them to be a Ribbon Master, since it is currently impossible for them to get it. However, in our case, the Footprint ribbon is still available to our Mesprits, it's just not possible without failing the no experience challenge I've set for it. In Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, there are some Pokemon that can still get this ribbon based on friendship instead of leveling, but unfortunately, Mesprit isn't one of them. Now we just need to take a quick pit stop in the past to get our Hisui ribbon, before moving on to the final leg of the journey. Settling into Paldea, we can now pick up a couple more of the older ribbons that we were missing. The Effort ribbon is fairly effortless thanks to Vitamins and Mochi, but the Best Friend ribbon is a little trickier. Pasadena's friendship isn't looking too good after letting them get beaten up so many times, so we might need a lot of friendship. My go-to method for raising friendship quickly is opening a picnic, making a few sandwiches, and interacting with the Pokemon at my camp. But doing all of these things will also reward experience, so instead, I'll have to rely on using EV-reducing berries to increase our friendship. We can then go and immediately betray that friendship by getting Pasadena beaten up a few more times to earn the Paldea Champion ribbon, which just leaves us with the Master Rank ribbon and the earnable marks. While your high-leveled Pokemon will be temporarily reduced to 50 for battle facilities and most online rule sets, this also works in reverse for ranked battles, and your level will actually be increased if it's normally below 50. This means that with vitamins and the right TMs, you could actually use your level 1 Ribbon Master as an active part of your ranked team strategy. Now all we have left is the marks. Something I learned recently is that some Pokemon from Go that are XL or XS sized are still able to get the Jumbo and Teeny marks, and there's a tool that you can use to calculate their size in Scarlet and Violet based on their height and weight before you transfer. For example, despite not being an XXL, this shiny XL Goomy is big enough to have a guaranteed scale value of 255, which means it will get the Jumbo mark when we bring it to the size rater in Mesagoza. After double checking we weren't eligible for a size mark, we can start working on the others. The partner mark, while time intensive, is still as simple as spinning in a circle overnight with good friendship and checking back in the morning. The gourmand mark is also quite simple, as while making your own sandwiches will give your party experience, food that you buy from market stalls will not. This is also the easiest way of getting the gourmand mark, so I'll be doing this method anyway. And to finish off our Mesprit's journey, I thought it was only fitting to reunite the original Sinnoh Tour trio to collect our item finder marks together. Yeah, I got a pose that doesn't...
Perfectly Wazowski. Oh my gosh, wait!
Hey,
wait,
yo.
It's literally perfect.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
And Mesper's doing the thing!
This involves going around in Let's Go mode and having your Pokemon collect items on the ground, with each item giving a 1% chance of earning the item finder mark. Using Let's Go mode does have the risk of accidentally attacking a wild Pokemon and earning experience, but in the case of our level 1 Mesprit, the bigger risk is getting knocked out ourselves, since the best item hunting locations tend to be home to much higher leveled Pokemon. Okay, there's like 20 items here. Surely I'm gonna get it now. And another one
Poor
here.
Fox, if only they were faster. Dude, it could have been worse. It could be worse. I think Iron Juggies is actually really slow for no reason.
Wait, there's like a million items here. They're like, feels like they're actually respawning.
I can't believe you can see them, bro. I literally cannot see a single one of these guys on your screen.
Yeah.
In this gold grass.
Okay, hang on. Come on, surely now I have to have it. Yes! Treasure Hunter, there we go.
Oh, thank God.
We got it.
Oh, let's go.
And that's a
Congrats,
basically
Morgan.
complete.
Does that mean that this is now a ribbon mastered?
With the exception of the footprint ribbon, yes, this is now a level 1 ribbon master Mesprit.
Go get the footprint ribbon and then reset.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
maybe
Do
I
the
will.
secret footprint method.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then be sure to subscribe. I have a lot more projects planned this year that you won't want to miss.
That was brilliant, Candle, for me. Very much enjoyed.